Yeah, okay, so let me repeat. So we're now opening a PCB file from KiCAD. And it may look overwhelming from the very beginning, right? But if we dissect into it to know the structure of it, it's not that difficult or challenging. So you begin with this header file. So you can copy this header file. It says, okay, it's KiCAD PCB. Which version of KiCAD PCB is to generate which exact program you use to generate. You can just leave it like that. This defines the thickness of the PCB, right? This defines how big the file, the paper should be when you export this PCB design. Okay, you can see it has a PCB design, it has a border, right? So they define how big this is. When you export it, you can ignore that as well because we're not going to export it. Here defines all the layers. So if you look at the PCB files, these are all the layers actually. So if we zoom in, if we zoom in and we turn off some layers, for example, if we turn off the mask paste layer, you will see something changing here, okay? It's not changing, okay. What about silk layer? If we remove silk layer, this R1 will be gone. Oh, yeah, you can see the yellow R1 is gone, and one of the yellow ring is gone, right? Because that's printed on the PCB, so that's also not something we care about. Now we go to the fab layer. If I click this, the fab layer, the fabrication layer, it just basically tells the computer what is exactly this device, what's the size of it. That's used in the manufacturing because you have the automatic manufacturing pipeline. They need to fetch the right device to put onto the PCB. So you can also ignore it, right? And we have the courtyard layer, which defines the boundary of this device. You can ignore the courtyard layer, okay? So those are layers that doesn't matter. And those layers, they are defined in the using the FP keyword. So you can ignore all of them. And so what matters is, I guess this part you can get rid of many of them or copy them. But one thing that's not in this example file is the clearance. Okay, we'll deal with clearance later. So the first thing you need, this thing is you must have is the paths. What are the paths? Okay, you only need to define the index of those paths. The name actually doesn't matter. Okay. And then for the footprint, you can ignore everything from the description to the last FP something before paths. So therefore, we made an example here. We have a single footprint, which is a through-hole resistor, has 2 paths, okay, and with nets definition. So even for the nets definition, we removed many things that's not needed, okay. I don't know whether you need the passive pin definition. You can probably keep it over there, but probably you don't need it. So pad 1, okay, for pad 1, let's go to the PCB. So we have 2 resistors, okay. So let me turn on the names so we can know the names, okay. So R1 and R2. R2, yeah, R2 is gone because I delete everything about its naming, okay. So this is R2, this is R1. So if I try to wire, you can see, actually you already see, you can see a gray line connecting pad 1 of R2 to pad 2 of R1. That is because in the footprint definition, we said for pad 1 of R2, this is R2 actually, for pad 1 of R2, it should connect to net 2. And if you go to the definition of R1, it has a name, actually it says R1. Here, see, it says this resistor is R1, okay? And R1's pad 1 should connect to net 1. So that's why we have this guidance, okay? This is the information you have to give to all the routing programs because in that case, they know which pad should be connected to which pad. Without that information, they cannot work. So now if I manually do the routing, you can see if I start with pad 1 of R2, I can only go to pad 2 of R1. And I cannot go to, for example, pad 1 of R1 because that's because this pad and this pad are pad 1 of R2 and pad 1 of R1, they do not belong to the same net.
Right.
That's it. And now because this is a through hole, so this pad is on both ends. So you can see it's colored blue because you can see this triangle. I'm working on the back copper layer. I can also switch the front copper layer and then make another wire. You can see now it will have the different color, which is red. Okay. Oh, and because I made the wire, so there's no need to make a wire on both sides. So the blue one on the back side is gone. So this is my example of showing you that's the file structure. The only thing you need to export is pretty much these two, right? Just export a net order and assign pads to nets. That's all you need.
Okay.
Yeah. And this part is going to be easier because now you're dealing with through hole. So in your case, you need to deal with SMD. So that can be even easier. So let me try to do the SMD and show you. So I'll say this is going to be let's see how a rectangle one looks like. So to do that, let's first make a save here. And let's add a rectangle one. You don't need the schematic actually, because once I create a schematic just to create this file so we can know what's needed. Okay, so now you only need to deal with schematics, the PCB.
So do I not need to create a schematic file?
No, you don't have to now. I create a schematic file just because I want to generate this file so I can delete unnecessary information. I want all the information there. But now, since we have understand the file format, so we don't need it. Yeah, so now let's say I want to add a pad. Okay, here's a pad. You can define any pad of any size. You can see. So now it's a whatever pad. This pad is 1 by 2 millimeters. All right, so we want to add it to our PCB. So I just want to add it here. Okay, so now I make a save. Okay, so this file is going to be saved. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reopen it, and we will see something changing. Now here we go. You see, now you see another footprint. That's a solder wire pad, SMD 1 by 2 millimeter. You see that?
Yeah.
So like I said, you can delete all of them. Delete this part. Don't delete the layer part because that's which layer you want to put this pad on, and that became sensitive for SMD devices. Now this one you can delete it, and this part, this whole thing, we can delete all the way to the pad part. We can delete it, okay, and we can delete the segment part because that's also not needed. All right, so that's all you need. And you define pad 1. It's not connected to any net. So let's copy the syntax to connect a pad, to add to assign a pad to a net. All right, so here we go. Here it says it's pad. This pad has only one pad. So pad 1, it's SMD. Its shape is a round angle rectangle. This is the coordinate, relative coordinate, okay, to that's for example the bottom left of this part. What's the size of it? Front layer, okay, the layer it should appear in. Paste and mask layer, as I mentioned, they are used in the manufacturing, so you can probably ignore it for now. And here's additional information, defines the rectangle ratio, which means how round that is. But hold on, I want to make it even simpler. I don't want a rectangle one. I want do they have like a just rectangle one? No, not even round.
I wonder if you could just change the round rectangle ratio to
0. Yeah, right. The thing is, I want to delete this part.
Oh.
So let me add another one. Let me add another one here. Okay, all right. Let me make a save, and I'll create this file. And hold on. Let me delete this round one because the square one is easier. That's the reason I want to delete it. Okay. All right, now let's open it. Now you see it's a square one, it's much easier. So we can delete this. We can delete all the joins. Hold on, this is a resistor actually. This is my first resistor. Let me undo it. Where is that pad? Here we go. Right, so here is a pad. So we can delete this description, delete all this information. Where is the pad? Doesn't have pad. Oh, here we go, pad at the end. Okay, so now it's the pad. So since it's a rectangle, coordinate, size, layer, and so this part we can delete it as well. This whatever stamp, I don't know what that stamp is. Now, let's define which net it should be connected to. So you can see this parenthesis is into pair. Okay, so let's copy how do we assign a pad earlier. Let's copy this part to here as a reference. So now let's write it. Okay, so all we need to do is to say we want to assign this pad to net 1, whatever name. I can even say whatever name. Okay, all right. And let's do this as well. So now let's go back to the PCB and you will see. All right. Oh, name doesn't match. Okay, all right. So I guess I can't use this name. Let's use the name here. Okay. Yeah, I can't use a random name. Okay, I will say I use net R1-pad 1. All right, so now it should match. Yep, no error, and you can see a gray wire. See that? A gray wire connecting here. So which means that if you want to wire, this pad should be go to any pad that is also of net 1, either this pad or this pad.
Cool. Yeah.
So therefore, you know how to generate this file now. All you need to do is to define. So you can just use a bunch of net pads. Okay. All these pads, they are too big. You can give it whatever name. You can give it a name. Say Zach's pad. I guess even if you don't have a name, that's totally fine. So this is you only need to generate a pad. You begin with the footprint keyword, and you say which layer that is. Make sure you assign all of them to F copper layer, and you define the coordinate of this pad, right? And then you just say, okay, here the pad. You always call it pad 1. You can copy this part SMD rectangle at 0, 0, and you define your size. Suppose all your pads are of size 1 by 1, right? And then you assign it to a net, and you can change all the net names. So I can do something really cool. I will change everything, says net 1-R1-pad 1, okay, to net just to 1. Yeah, I'll call it net 1 just to make it easier. All right, I'll replace all of them. All right, and then I'll replace anything that's pad 2 to net 2. All right, so now you can see it's easy now. And yeah, and you can have a bunch of pads. So let's create another pad. You make a copy. You don't have to worry about what editor I'm using. Use whatever text editor you like. So now you can see I can create another net, right? Another one. Let's give it a little bit offset on the coordinate. Let's make a big offset, 885 and 116. Okay, and I want to connect the net 1 as well. So if you close it, reopen it. Line 81, offset 15. I have an error. Okay, let's see. What was the error? 81, line 15, 81. Oh, so it requires, I cannot delete the name. All right. All right, so let's give it a name. All right, let's call it Zach's pad. And next one, let's also give it a name. Let's call it Forrester's pad. Okay, all right, let me reopen this PCB file. Okay, beautiful. Now you can see. So this is Zach's pad. Okay, this is, I mean, one of them is your pad, the other is my pad. And you can see this gray wire here, which we call ResNet, tells us that both of them belong to net 1. And you can see the net assignment on all of those pins. you can say net 1, net 1, net 2, net 2. So beautiful. So now the routing algorithm can connect these two together. But all right, let's put it into practice. Okay, let's get rid of those two resistors. So we don't need the resistors anymore. Let's get rid of all of them. Yeah, all those resistors. How deep I can go? Let me do it in a graphical way. Let me get rid of these two threshold resistors. Forget about them. Forget about them, and forget about this wire. All right, let's make it safe. Let's pick this one. So now I can see it's super simple now. Oh, they still have this. They add this part back. Okay, they add this part back. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. I can delete them.
So that must just be like auto-generated by the.
Yeah, it looks like it's auto-generated.
Yeah.
Whenever you save it, whenever you save in KiCAD PCB, it's auto-generated. But now we do not need that. Yeah, this part we also don't need that. Gone. So this is the minimum routing problem you can create in KiCAD PCB, right? And delete all these. Yeah, this part we don't need it. This part we don't need it. Okay, so this is the minimum one. I can see you have only one net, which is net 1. Yeah, so this part, they have lots of configurations. You don't need to deal with them, but the spacing is not there. You need to add it back. Okay, now we have a super simple PCB file. Let's save it. And so we go to here, we export it to Specctra. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, unable to export. Oh, they need a reference ID. This is so stupid. I delete too much information. Symbol of value has empty reference ID. What is reference?
I wonder if it's names on on some of the pins.
So let's try. Let's see what is the name. So that's something we have to keep it then. Okay. What is the reference?
Maybe net 0 has no name.
No, net 0 always has no name. Net 0 is 0. It's never used.
Sure.
I don't know, maybe either description or something. So let's try to add the description back to see whether we got errors. All right, so let's copy these. Let's copy description first. So then let's put the description here.
Some of these footprint text things have no value. There's
maybe maybe this part. Yeah, you're right. So let's give it a name then. Let's call this one Zach. Let's call this one. What about this one? Oh, what the 2? Okay, all right, whatever. Let's just call it Zach.
I bet it was that reference one that had problems because didn't it say something about reference?
Yes, I think so. It says something about reference. Yeah, let's give it a try. Yeah, so now it has a name, Zach and YY, right? Let's export it. Oh, there's no border line. This PCB has no border line. So let me draw a border.
I was gonna ask about that too, because I will need a border.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You have a border. It's not really a rectangle, but that should work. And you remember, see, when I do it in the cut layer. So later we can look at the file. Let's look at the file.
Yeah, I think I did that in my test one already too.
Yeah, you see? Yeah, so I have a border line, cut layer, so that there are 4 segments.
What's GR stand for?
I don't know what GR stands for. Ground, I don't know. Yeah, okay. All right, so we can export, export to a Specctra format. Oh, we already exported. Okay, we can overwrite it. Okay, so we export to Specctra format, and then you can use free route. I haven't, this is a new computer, I haven't downloaded the free route. But let's make sure we can go through it without any problem. Free route, let's download it. It's a Java program. Oh, this is slow. Where do I download it? This is weird. Using with KiCAD, yeah, but where do I download it? This is Java.
Oh, wait, it says within PCBnew, press the auto router button. Is it already built into
Oh,
PCBnew?
really? Okay, let's see. I don't think so. No, it's not there. Auto router is gone. That document is outdated, I think.
What's the route dropdown?
Yeah, this is manual route.
Huh.
Yeah, I think somehow they removed it actually. KiCAD removed it actually. But where do I download this? Oh, this one called layout editor download. The easiest way is to install the layout editor. Oh, you need to install it. Then you can have it in KiCAD. But there's a different way. There's one way to just use it as standalone. Yeah, it looks like this is the software. All right, so let's download it. Hold on, this is too complicated. I remember free routing has a Java package, but
Well, right now you're under the using with layout editor section and not the using with KiCAD.
yeah. Okay, look
But
at this is done. I mean, there's a standalone because free routing can be used as a plugin of these three tools.
Yeah.
So let me just download it here. Installer for Windows and Mac, Linux can be downloaded here. Okay. Let's see. Freerouting.jar. Yeah, this jar should work actually. Let me download this. Then it should work. Let's put it in download. And let me go to my here. So I think the command is you call Java, and then
-jar, I think.
oh really? -jar?
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, my Java is too old. Shoot. Oh, my Java is too new. Shoot.
Oh.
This is horrible. Hold on. Let me see. What about this? What about this one? Okay, work.
Do you think I'll be able to install it on Mac?
Probably.
Maybe the Linux one?
Linux one on Mac? Not sure.
I don't know.
Yeah, okay, so let's try this.
I have a Windows computer I can use.
Okay, so what's in B? Okay, here we go. Bash free routing. I don't know whether it still needs. Oh, I see. Password. Cannot execute. What? Why cannot execute? Hold on. Let me allow it to be executable. Yeah. Oh no, don't tell me it's error. Okay, all right, great. Yeah, this is how I used to do it. Okay, so I have this. My file I put in test, and so load this DSN file, and it should route super quick. Boom.
Is that
the
DSN file? Is that the Specctra one that you exported?
Yeah. The DSN file is actually, DSN is spectral file.
Cool.
Yeah. So what you can do is, I just don't know how you can do the test without using the mouse. Whether you can type a command, like say, like in the command line, you say route space test.dsn. I don't know whether you can do that. But now it looks like the free, this app, free routing, has all the information it needs to route this PCB. This super stupid and simple PCB.
Okay.
And we can make it a little bit complicated. For example, let's say you do this. Let's draw a weird boundary for it. Let me go to color layer. Let's draw a weird one. So let's first delete this square one. We don't need this big square one. Okay, and let me go to color. Let me draw a weird one. You can see how interesting that could be. Why can't I start drawing? Okay, so let me make a, for example, a notch between them. Okay, all right. So then let's save it and export to DSN. And yes, I'll replace it. And then let's go to here, kill this one, start a new one. Go to test. Now you can see now this time it will generate a route that goes around like this. See?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's why. So in order to define a minimum routing problem, you need to define the pads, okay? The shape of the pads, whether it's a through hole, whether it's SMD. So if it's SMD, which side of the board that is, and then you assign pads to nets, because then the routing algorithm knows that this pad needs to be connected with this pad. And then you need to define the shape. So for example, because of the shape, this routing algorithm knows that I cannot go through here because this part is void. Need to go around like this. So now you can see this PCB file doesn't have to be too complicated.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So and the layer part, I don't know whether you need to keep it. You can just keep it, just copy and paste there. It doesn't hurt anything. Yeah. So this is the board, and once again, this line added by KiCAD, probably not really needed. This line not really needed. So only thing you need for pad is give it a name, whatever name. Define the layer. The layer is must have. The coordinate is must have. And for this footprint, although it's a single pad footprint, you still need to find the pad because in KiCAD or in PCB design, many devices, many footprints, they have multiple pads. Although here we only have one pad. The pad, you need to define the type, the shape, the coordinate, the size, and the layer. Okay.
What about
this
clearance?
layer and this layer? They are the same. You have a question?
Yeah. What about clearance?
Clearance. I can't solve it now. Let's find it. KiCAD PCB clearance definition. Let's see where the clearance is defined. Okay, so here we go. Looks like here we have a how to set design rules.
I wonder if that's in setup.
Yeah, somewhere. So it says in preference. Okay, go to preference. So now after we do this, it will be written to the PCB file.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think it's in preference because KiCAD changes the settings a lot. Yeah, see now PCBnew is gone. Hotkeys displayed. Yeah, these are displays. These are design rules actually. They're called design rules technically. So the clearance between wires, the thickness of wires, they're called design rules. Let me see where we can find it. Maybe in tools, geographic annotation script. Oh, hold on. So here we have inspect. So we have design rule checker. But where's my design rule? I need to define my design rule before I know whether this design rule has been. Is this here? No. It should be somewhere. You can find it. Try to find it yourself.
Sure. What was in the preferences
oh,
drop
maybe
down?
here.
Oh.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah. So here, it's called edit the track and via properties, and the track width. Okay, so set to specific value, but use net class width. So there's a net class width. So via size, yeah, we don't need to deal with via. So let's go to net class. But where's the clearance? Why can't I change it? Hold on, still problematic. Still can't change it. Net class.
Would it still be under edit maybe? Because that's where you found the last thing, right?
Yeah. No. Okay, let me find it. let's see.
Hmm.
Yeah, we don't need this tab. We need this tab. KiCAD PCB set design rules. Where do I? Because I know KiCAD changes the menu all over the place. When we go from one version to the other version.
Yeah. In the you can create net classes where it seems like it applies properties to like a set of nets. So I created in my file, I created a default net class.
Yeah.
And in there, I think you can put clearance and
oh, okay, yeah. Okay.
So that might work. Also, in the setup section, you can do trace clearance and segment width and stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if those were working correctly or not. They were in one of the test KiCAD files that I was looking at.
Yeah. Here
That's
we
why
go. I think it's somewhere here. Let's see what we have clearance. This is pad to mask clearance. This is not the wire to wire clearance. Oh, yeah. Oh, here we go. You see, trace clearance. Okay, what about trace width? Maybe it's in segment width, I assume.
Yeah, I had segment width there too. In the
Yeah, maybe.
But in the net class, I have a trace width.
Oh, here. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Oh, we can probably leverage net class to do that. But in our case, we want the circuit to be very simple, so we won't have one net class and all nets have the same clearance and width. Yeah. I assume you only need this. You don't need the setup. You only need this part. That's how I feel it.
So do I need clearance on anything else or just on the nets, do you think?
The only way to tell is to test it out. Let's try it. Yeah, so let's assume where do we add it? Oh, under net class. Okay. So let's add a net class default. Yeah, let's call it default. I don't know, it's French here. So let's call it a default. We don't need the via, so we don't need all these. And you need to add a net part. It means you add a certain net into this. So you need to add a net 1 into it. And I think by syntax you put a slash here. Yeah, so let's make it really thick. And see. All right. So let me close this and reopen it. Yeah, so let me export the DSN. Now let's save it and go to here. Cancel and exit. Let me restart it. Yeah, this single Java part is stupid. You have to manually set. Yeah, I should have integrated into KiCAD. If we do that, we will just need one click.
Right.
Okay, now let's route. Now you can see it's super thick.
Ah, okay. And that was in the net class. You changed the
yeah, that's where I changed it.
Okay.
Yep, in the net class.
Okay.
So yeah, so a lot of things here you don't need them, or you can just copy them.
What if you set the clearance really high and turn the trace width back down?
Well, we wouldn't see any difference because we have one net.
Oh,
So
does it
clearance-
not cause clearance between the net and the cuts?
Good question. Let's see, because I assume this clearance also means the clearance between wires. Yeah, probably it also defines the clearance between the nets and the cuts. Yeah, let's see. Oops, like that. Let me close it, reload it. And let's load it. Oh, it cannot. Hold on. Why?
Because it's probably because the trace width is really wide and
Yeah. Probably the
wide
clearance
and
is too high.
Yeah.
Let's reduce
So
it.
maybe turn the width down and leave the clearance and see if it goes into the middle.
Yeah, let's try it. Yeah, this is too big. Yeah, this manual thing's stupid. I should have added the plugin to KiCAD.
Yeah, that would be easier. Maybe I'll do that.
Okay. Yeah, okay, now we go. Yeah, so it looks like the clearance also controls the distance between a pass or a trace and the cuts.
Okay, I think that's good. That'll
Yeah.
make it easier for me, I think.
Yeah, so that's all the information you need, I guess.
Yeah, I think that will work.
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks
Yeah,
like
this is the
free
border.
route. It looks like free route is pretty easy to use. I'm
Yeah.
kind of worried about deep PCB. Because you said you have to like send the file to them and then they like send back the routed board, right?
Let's take a look. Hold on, why does open source code now? Did it open the source code?
I thought deep PCB was open source.
No, deep PCB is not actually.
Oh,
Oh, so this deep PCB is different. This is 100 image pairs consists of a defect-free. Oh, so this somebody opened this library. Oh, so these are real libraries. These are like real PCB routing problems.
huh.
Oh, there's a paper. Oh, yeah, so that's their paper. So this is really deep PCB people's paper. Yeah. You can only use it as for research purpose. Okay, all right. So they open sourced it. When did they open source? 4 years ago? How come I never realized this? Interesting. Okay, anyway. So how do we, yeah, so question, how do you use it? Upload your board. Oh yeah, in DSN format.
Okay.
Yeah, so once we can export into DSN file, we're good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so because
it says
this software uses DSN file, free routing also use DSN.
Okay, so what I'm wondering is how I'll be able to do this on lots of randomly generated boards.
Okay, so your question is, once you have this KiCAD PCB generated and you export them to DSN, what do you do next?
Yeah, because I'll have, I mean, the
Okay,
10.
let me stop
the 10
recording.
real